With Aaron Rodgers now in New York and the 2023 NFL Draft set to start tomorrow night, free agency has seemingly come grinding to a halt. Teams are preparing to add an influx of young talent to their rosters, and hundreds of NFL veterans will have to wait until all the dust settles to see what opportunities remain. Once the draft concludes, teams will look to put the finishing touches on their training camp depth charts as we creep toward the start of summer and soon the long grind of the 2023 NFL season. In no particular order, here are my top 10 NFL veterans still available in free agency. Yannick Ngakoue was a third-round pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2016. The defensive end spent the first 4 years of his career with the Jags, making one Pro Bowl and proving to be one of the most consistent pass rushers in the NFL. However, the former Maryland Terrapin has bounced around 4 teams in the last 3 years, spending time with Minnesota and Baltimore in 2020 and the Las Vegas Raiders in 2021. Last season with the Indianapolis Colts, Ngakoue started 15 games, forcing 1 fumble and making 29 combined tackles with 8 tackles for loss, 16 QB hits, and 9.5 sacks. The well-traveled one-time Pro Bowler and pass rush specialist has never had less than 8 sacks in any one season and heads into his 7th year looking for a 6th NFL team to call home. Safety John Johnson III was a third-round pick of the LA Rams in the 2017 NFL Draft, playing his first 4 seasons in LA as an impact starter in the secondary. He signed with Cleveland as a free agent in 2021, quickly becoming a key player on the Browns' defensive unit. In 2022, Johnson started all 17 games, making 1 interception with 4 pass deflections and 2 forced fumbles, adding 101 combined tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and a half sack. The versatile safety is just 27 years old and has a long history of production that should appeal to any team in need of instant help on the back end. Dalton Risner was drafted by the Denver Broncos in the second round of the 2019 NFL Draft. The 27-year-old guard has been a steady though underwhelming presence on the offensive line in the Mile High City, performing more than adequately in pass protection but struggling to open up running lanes. In 2022, Risner started 15 games, playing at 967 snaps, with 2 penalties against and 3 sacks allowed. A change of scenery with a new staff and offensive scheme may just be what the doctor ordered to possibly coax the potential out of the former second-round selection. Risner should level out as at least a low-end starter for whichever NFL team he ends up on this summer. Adrian Amos was a 5th-round pick of the Chicago Bears in the 2015 NFL Draft, playing his first 4 seasons in Chicago before establishing himself as one of the league's up-and-comers at the safety position during his last 4 seasons starting for the Green Bay Packers. In 2022, Amos started all 17 games for the Green and Gold, totaling 1 interception, 5 pass deflections, and 1 fumble recovery, with 102 combined tackles and 7 tackles for loss. The soon-to-be 30-year-old safety has never been a Pro Bowler, but is solid as a starter as they come and should easily find his way onto a roster in 2023. A second-round pick in 2016 by the Jacksonville Jaguars, Myles Jack has had an up-and-down NFL career thus far. After starting as a starter on the Jags defense for 6 seasons, Jack spent 2022 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, starting 13 games and racking up 3 pass deflections and 1 fumble recovery to go along with 104 combined tackles and 3 tackles for loss. The former UCLA Bruin now has 4 seasons of 100-plus tackles on his NFL resume and will likely find a role as a starter or rotational piece for a team with a need for linebacker speed. Shaquill Griffin was a third-round pick of the Seattle Seahawks in the 2017 NFL Draft, playing his first 4 seasons as an impact starter and ball-hawking outside cornerback for Seattle. Griffin spent the last 2 seasons in Jacksonville and was injured most of 2022, making just 5 starts but playing well in his limited reps, breaking up 4 passes and making 29 combined tackles with 3 tackles for loss before missing the remainder of the season due to a back injury. The talented defender would make a great addition to any playoff contender as a veteran starter and mentor if he can show teams his back issues are behind him. One of the most underrated signal callers in the league, Teddy Buckets enters his 9th season searching for his 6th NFL team. Bridgewater started at Louisville before becoming a first-round selection of the Minnesota Vikings in 2014, starting for Minnesota for 2 seasons and making 1 Pro Bowl, before a gruesome preseason leg injury cost him 2 years in the middle of his prime. Bridgewater wound up as the backup to Drew Brees in New Orleans and went undefeated filling in for the injured future Hall of Famer in 2019, going 5-0 as a starter. His play in New Orleans earned him contracts and starting jobs with the Carolina Panthers and Denver Broncos to middling results, before spending last season as the backup to Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. As a Dolphin, Bridgewater played in 5 games with 2 starts, completing 62% of his passes for 683 yards with 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. His 8.6 yards per attempt in 2022 was the best of his career, and Teddy Buckets will likely get another NFL opportunity as a high-floor veteran backup in 2023. Running back Kareem Hunt was a third-round selection of the Kansas City Chiefs in the 2017 NFL Draft. In Kansas City under Andy Reid, Hunt was an instant star, making the Pro Bowl after leading the NFL in rushing as a rookie. Unfortunately, off-the-field issues led to his release from Kansas City after just 2 seasons. Hunt was given an 8-game suspension following a tumultuous 2018 that saw him implicated on a pair of assaults and caught on camera shoving and kicking a woman in the third. After his eventual release by the Chiefs, the much-maligned running back signed with the Cleveland Browns and has served as a backup and change of pace option to Browns Pro Bowler Nick Chubb. Hunt spent 4 solid seasons as a key rotational piece in Cleveland, but was not re-signed this offseason after a down year in 2022 that saw him demand a trade after averaging a career-low 3.8 yards per carry. Last season in 17 games as a backup, Hunt took 123 attempts for just 468 yards and 3 touchdowns, catching another 35 passes for 210 yards and another score. At 27, Hunt has plenty of tread left on the tires and could surprise as a low-end starter in 2023 for a team with a currently unsettled backfield. The other running back to make the list, Ezekiel Elliot, spent 7 seasons as a star with Dallas since being drafted by the Cowboys in the first round with the number 4 overall pick in 2016. After making 3 Pro Bowls in his first 4 NFL seasons, Elliott has had just 1,000-yard campaign in his last 3. In 2022, Elliott played in 15 games with 14 starts, taking 231 attempts, 876 yards, and scoring 12 touchdowns rushing, adding 17 catches for another 92 yards receiving. Except for touchdowns, all Elliott's 2022 numbers were career lows across the board, as Tony Pollard emerges the new RB1 in Dallas. Elliott may have lost a step or 2, but could still serve as a competent change of pace and goal line option and a running back by committee. Elliott would do well to take a pay cut in 2023 and accept a rotational role for a contending team in need of veteran running back depth. The last player on our list, Rock Ya-Sin, spent 3 years in Indianapolis after being selected by the Colts in the second round of the 2019 draft. The talented defensive back has struggled with injuries through his first 4 seasons, and with the Las Vegas Raiders in 2022, Rock played in 11 games with 9 starts, totaling a respectable 7 pass deflections and adding 45 combined tackles. When healthy, the 4-year pro is an extremely productive addition to any NFL secondary. Which NFL teams could you see signing these players, and where do you think each of these players ends up in 2023? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to drop a like on this video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more NFL content just like this.